Yo, what up? What up? Double vision. Check, check, check. Microphone's good. See if we get anybody jumping on. What's happening? What's happening? We on both sides. I'm on YouTube and TikTok right now, just trying to make sure everything works before we get this thing rolling. What's happening, everybody? William Stewart, what's happening? Everybody on TikTok, Clash, Ballard Born, what's happening? Appreciate all the love. For review, what's happening? I'm just trying to make sure everything works. Microphones look like they both doing good, so appreciate y'all. Clash, I appreciate all the love too, man. City Boy, what's going down? Agitated, what's up? Second week tapping in. Had a lot of game last week. Appreciate that inbound. 4-4, what's happening? Raveware, that's right. Let me see. Nigel, what's happening? Leo's on here. Devoted Brand, what's going down? What's happening? Gums, what's up? Movie Head. What started the upside down logos on hats? I don't know what started it. When I was doing it in 2016, 2017, my campaign was all about turning the city upside down. That was the campaign that I rolled out with doing the upside down hats or logos on hats. Outside of that, I don't know what the I know there's a brand called I think it's called Kill the Hype. They were like the first ones that I seen really blow up with the snapbacks, because I remember there was a store called Hall of Fame that used to be on Melrose. They were doing like the Dodger logo upside down and logos like that. But Kill the Hype is the one that I seen like really kill the stuff with the upside down hat logos. But like I said, when I did it in 2017, mine just said Los Angeles spelled out and it was flipped upside down. Now you could find any city basically upside down. Let me see. Heisman said your videos are really helpful. I appreciate that. Thanks for even watching. The information I put out is for like people like yourself, like myself, somebody that just needs a little bit more information or just spark an idea for somebody. That's basically it. Trackside Prince, what's happening? Happy Thanksgiving. That's right. Let me see. I think that says Tuts. What's happening? Love your content. Just ordered a shirt. Appreciate that. See, it doesn't say your whole name on there, but I appreciate you for ordering the shirt. What do you think about Cotton Collective? I haven't used Cotton Collective blanks. The blanks that I choose to use is AS Color. That's probably hands down one of the best feeling blank t-shirts that I've found. AS Color Classic is one of my favorite t-shirts to use, but also the block shirt is dope. The heavy faded shirt is dope. Their hoodies are all dope, but I choose to use AS Color. Stitchy, what's happening? Inspiration and information. You know what's crazy is a lot of people watch my channel, whether it's YouTube videos or the short form stuff, and they all say the same thing, like, "Oh man, you inspired me to do something," or "You inspired me to get off my ass and get it cracking." That's dope to hear. But for myself, I think it's really dope that the information that I put out is going to good use. That's what I'm more interested in, is the information I'm putting out is actually helping somebody level up or start their business today. Or and the information I'm putting out isn't like the get rich quick stuff. It's not like I'll make you a millionaire in 10 days or nothing like that. It's just basically showing the hard work that goes into the shit, and then you guys using the information to get it cracking on your own. You know what I mean? What do you recommend to get first, DTG machine or embroidery? I don't recommend DTG at all. Nothing against DTG, but you got to baby that machine. If you really know how, if you're hands on like that, by all means go for it. But you just really have to understand what you're getting yourself into. Embroidery is a whole nother beast. You don't have to be too mechanically inclined, but there is a learning curve with it. There's no other way to replicate embroidery. So I always go with embroidery over print methods, because there's a million different print methods on how to print on t-shirts. But when it comes to embroidery, it's basically embroidery and then that's it. You know what I mean? Um, that's what I would suggest. Let me see. What's a smaller, more travel-friendly embroidery machine for hats and Letterman jackets? That one's kind of hard because these machines are pretty big and hefty and heavy. If you're trying to embroider out in like live at events and stuff like that, you would have to like try to find some because not all embroidery machines are built for hats and not all embroidery machines are built the same. So if you're going for like lightweight and easy to like move around, you're gonna have to do some shopping around. I wouldn't even know where to start. I would probably ask somebody like at Racoma what they suggested, but that's about it. Let me see some of these TikTok questions, man. You're real, bro. That's what we need. Appreciate that trackside prints. I want it for my clothing brand, but also I do work for my friends. Um, to me, when it comes to DTG versus embroidery or what you should invest in, it's hard, man. Like, if you have a lot of embroidery work already coming in, maybe you outsourced a bunch of stuff or you're middlemaning a bunch of stuff and you know that there's a need for it, then go with embroidery. But if you don't know if you have a lot of embroidery clients yet or a need for it, start outsourcing it now and start middlemaning it to see if there is that need for it. Same thing with DTG. Just start middlemaning it and then see if your friends really want it or if it's a benefit for your business. Because if you just go out and buy the machine and then try to find the customers after, you're going to be digging yourself out of a hole. You don't want to start in a hole. So the way that when I got into embroidery was I outsourced it for years. And then one whole year, I just tracked how many jobs I was outsourcing and how much money I was leaving on the table. And then that was the deciding factor for me to jump in and get an embroidery machine. And once I got it, I paid my shit off like less than half a year, like 5 months. I paid my shit off. Let me see. Been watching YouTube for a long time. Classy and caffeinated. I appreciate that. Let me see. I'm gonna try to bounce around and read some of these YouTube questions and TikTok questions, but I appreciate y'all for even jumping on today. Um, Do you think December is a good time to drop as far as streetwear or drop at the top of the year? It's all based on you. Like if you know your customers, you know their buying habits and stuff like that, you just drop whenever you feel is going to be a good time when you feel comfortable dropping. You know what I mean? Because you're not really competing with nobody in this space right now. So you drop whenever you feel that your following is going to be, actually interested in buying. Federico, appreciate that. Found you in like 2018. I just wanted to say thank you, William Stewart. Not a problem, man. Thanks for rocking with me since 2018, though. I have the Racoma 15. Oh, the MT 1501. Hell yeah, same as me. Let me see. Buy the transfers first. That's always my go-to. Is before you buy the printer, buy the transfers. Boosting, what's up, man? How should I gain more followers to follow my brand and my design shirts? Don't even worry about followers. Follower is social media isn't a followers game no more. From what I see, people with smaller followings are seeing way more traction and way more attention just by posting regularly. Nobody's really like click and follow anymore. People are just consuming content on their For You page or just on the feed, but nobody's really following. So don't be concerned with followers. I would say just keep creating content and post regularly. You know what I mean? If you could post twice a day, cool. If you could do more than that, cool. But I would say twice a day and just start banging content out. Like I show a bunch of strategies on my YouTube channel on how to like maximize the content that you're making. Like you guys watch my short form stuff, I'm boxing up orders every day. And every day that I'm boxing up orders, I just set the camera up. I'll record a time lapse. I'll do some small videos here and there. I'll talk about the boxes I'm using, the poly mailers I'm using. So one session of me boxing up, like let's say 5 to 10 orders, I banged out like 30 something small short form videos in that time. And to me, it just makes things easier. And then you just post at your leisure. You know what I mean? But I would say don't even worry about followers at all. I would say worry about just posting content and getting discovered that way. Let me see. That's why I bought it. Hell yeah, man. And the heat press and hat press. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let me see TikTok. I'm gonna try to scroll up and read some of your guys' questions. I had to take a step back and do a reset on a new plan for 2026. Hell yeah, trackside. Everybody has to take a step back and a little breather, recharge the batteries, man. Happens to all of us. Let me see. What do you think about Happy Japan machines? I don't know too much about those machines. I see them at the trade shows, but I don't know too much about them. The machine I use is the Racoma MT1501. It's a single head, 15 needle commercial embroidery machine. I got it in 2020. Um, I run that thing daily. I haven't had no maintenance issues or anything wrong with it where I had to call for service or anything. I keep it oiled up, check my tension, clean out the bobbin housing, but it just runs and we run it all day long. I probably do 95% hats on that thing and then 5% flats, meaning like some towels or robes or blankets and like small stuff. I don't really do too many shirts with it, but majority of what I do is hats. Middleman and everything in DTLA. Yeah, that's the best place to go too, man. How can we work around AI and Canva and stay original? I don't really use AI, so I can't even speak about how to use it or how not to use it. I'm old school. I draw everything and then I put it into Photoshop and Illustrator. I clean it up, make it a digital file, and then I send that to print. Um, Let me see. Got a brother embroidery machine for my birthday. Hell yeah. Get that money, man. Those when I was looking at small embroidery machines, the brother was one of the ones that I was looking at, and I think the hoop was like 5x7 or something like that. It was like perfect to do like small things, name hits, patches. Um, like if you're doing single color stuff, that was an easy call. I was watching a bunch of videos of people doing it. Valerie Valentino, what's happening? Golf last night. It was so fun. Hell yeah. All right, let me see. Did my order make the filming schedule? Yeah, I filmed it, man. I filmed it. I appreciate it. You know what's crazy is I get that request. I don't get it often, but every now and then I get that same exact request. Whether I'm live at an event selling stuff and people are like, hey, can you sign this for me? And then I'll read people's notes. It's usually t-shirts, but that was like the first time I got to do a hat on camera, which was cool. So appreciate you, man. It should be on its way to you. I think you're all the way on the East Coast though, so hopefully it makes to you in time. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you, brother. Let me see. Have you noticed a big difference in shipping charges? Or are you using Pirate Ship or something similar? I'm not. I still use Shopify for all my shipping. I haven't seen any big price adjustments. Speaking of the homie Devoted, I think you're out in Florida, and I want to say shipping something from LA to Florida priority is like $12, and then first class ground I want to say is like $7 or $8. I think. I might be wrong, but off the top of my head, that's what it seems like. But I haven't seen any like real price jumps yet through Shopify. I haven't seen it. Just Phil, what's happening? I appreciate you for watching. Um, One of the big things that I notice in the shipping category is the jump from poly mailer to box is kind of sizable, or I think that the box is considered a parcel. There is a kind of a big jump from like shipping one hat versus one t-shirt in a poly mailer and one hat in a box. Um, and I think it's because the dimensions are bigger than the bag, so it takes up a little bit more real estate. I have seen a price jump in that, but I haven't really seen it versus like me shipping hats 5 6 months ago versus now. Not too much. Fat Heck, what's happening, man? Let me see. Appreciate everybody for jumping on, liking the live on TikTok, man. I'm live right now on TikTok and YouTube if you didn't know. So if you see me looking to the side, I'm reading the chat on the phone, I'm reading the chat on my computer. I go live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I go live on both YouTube and TikTok. Let me see. So if you guys got questions, man, shoot them out. This is what I do on live is if you guys got questions about t-shirts and printing and stuff like that, maybe printing placement, whatever it is, I try to help as many people as possible out. I usually go live at 7 o'clock. I could jump on early just to test everything, make sure everything worked before 7 o'clock hit, and I just decided to stay on. Let me see. West End Caps, what's happening? Appreciate the little cloud thing. Let me see. Um, it's a fucking tank. 1501 MT. Yeah, man, you ain't lying. That Racoma is a beast. I love that thing. Like my machine, like I said, I have no issues with it. We run it every single day. As long as you keep that thing lubed up and oiled down and everything is like operating the way it should be, you clean out the bobbin housing, it just runs. You know what I mean? There's some designs that take longer than others. There's some designs that I have to run a little bit slower. But for the most part, man, it just goes. You know what I mean? Which is cool. I caught 4 restrictions last week on TikTok Live. The first 2 times I tried to go live on TikTok, it was kicking me off. It thought I was trying to sell stuff, and I was just doing this. Um, it's ruined the market in ways I wouldn't rely on social media as a beginner. Not 100% sure what that means, relying on social media as a beginner. To me, social media is where everybody lives. And if you have a business, I feel like your business should be on social media also. Diz, what up, man? I think when it comes to social media, when it comes to like how you're promoting your business and telling your brand story and business, to me, I think that's like it, it's basically like a cheat code for businesses. You know what I mean? Because before, any business, if they wanted to promote anything or market anything, they had to go to print media, which was like magazine ads and newspaper ads and flyers, or they would go to the radio and do radio spots, or they would buy commercial time on TV, whether it's cable TV, like a cable network, or regular TV. And the budgets for that kind of stuff is crazy. Where social media now, it costs nothing. Social media is free. We all already have a phone that has a camera, and you could just record stuff now and just get that shit rolling so fast and so easy that every business should be on social media doing this. Whether you want to show your face or not, you just want to show your hands, whatever you want to do, it's the best thing for all of our businesses to just be on there and just kind of talk about what we're doing. You know what I mean? The stickers you include with your shirts, do you make them or do you order them? I do both. I have access to print my own stickers, but I also sometimes need 5,000 stickers. Like when I travel with a lot of stickers. So I get them printed. I also print myself. So it's cool. Let me see. This man knows what he's talking about. Appreciate that. Do you love your HPN True Spec? Hell yeah. To me, the True Spec heat press elevated my business only production wise. We use that thing every day, every day. Shout out to the homie E Beezy, man. But every single day, what we do is press shirts on there. We're running that thing like crazy. You know what I mean? So if the True Spec came out 15 years ago, my shop would be full of True Specs. But that's why my shop's full of Signature Series, because that was the best press at the time when I bought them for my shops. And if you guys notice anything about like my videos since I got onto YouTube, I've been using the Signature Series press since before I got onto YouTube. It just works. You know what I mean? It's like a workhorse. So to me, the True Spec does everything I need it to. I like it, and it feels just heavy duty. You know what I mean when you're using it. Shout out to the homie E Beezy, man. Making your own clothes is an unmatched feeling. Yeah, it is, man. Of course, I got a phone call and ask my question. Yeah, what's your question, man? Ask it again. Can't have enough stickers. What printer do you do your labels on? I use the Dymo label writer. I'll tell you this, it's a dope label printer, thermal printer. I've had it for years, but there's pros and cons to it, man. Like the good thing, it works, right? It's a thermal printer and it works. You can put aftermarket labels through it, no problem. But it prints off of a roll. So when the stickers come to you, they're all rolled up, right? And you feed it through your printer, you print out. If you're printing, let's say, more than 5 labels at a time, by the time like the third or fourth one come out, they start to roll in on each other. So all the labels just get rolled back up. I like to lay my labels flat, put the t-shirt on top to keep everything in order. So I'm constantly fighting and trying to take the curl out of the labels. That's the one thing I hate. So I know some people use the Rollo printer, which the Rollo thermal printer feeds them flat, like in a zigzag formation, like an accordion, and those ones lay flat. If I could go back, I'd probably get one of those, but those weren't around when I got my Dymo. Like I had my Dymo for like 15 plus years, but that's just the one that I use. You know what I mean? Um, Let me see. Can't have enough stickers. Yeah, that's exactly it, man. What do you think about that X tool? For me, I don't know nothing about it. You know what I mean? I seen the ads, like you guys all seen the ads. This is my thing when it comes to any type of printer, and I just made a video about this. Is when you get a DTF printer, you got to really know what you're going to use it for, right? Like, there's people that are like, I want to print for myself, I want to print for others, I want to do all this stuff. But when you get that printer, you have to know where the money's going to come in first. You really have to know how you're going to pay that machine off. If you're financing the machine, you're already starting in the hole, so you need to make that payment. And most people that are starting out, they see that machine and think, oh shit, I'm going to be making a ton of money printing my own stuff. But from what it looks like the film that's used on there is a proprietary film made for that, so you would only use their film. I don't know about the inks. um, and then I don't know how fast it prints. Are you printing for others, or are you just printing for yourself? If the answer is you're just printing for yourself, if you're not printing by volume, like, hundreds of thousands of transfers for yourself, then why not just go with like a white toner printer, which would be a little bit smaller, a lot less expensive. And if you're just printing for yourself, you'd be able to get the job done. That's what I don't understand. A lot of people, like, I'm guessing white toner probably gets a bad rap for some weird reason, but if I was in the space and I was just printing for myself, I would 100% just go with the white toner printer instead of going with the DTF. And then if I needed like a lot of transfers, like a big gang roll, then all I would do is I would outsource it. I'd go to like Merch Studio is a dope DTF printer. Um, the T-shirt Buddy's a dope DTF printer. Like, there's so many people that already provide transfers that I wouldn't even have to buy the printer unless you're trying to sell transfers. And then in that case, what I would recommend is outsourcing transfers for a long time first, meaning middleman the job. Tell people that you print transfers, and then middleman the job to see if that is an actual profitable business for you. Don't buy the printer and then go out and look for the customers, because you're working backwards at that point. Have the customers already on hand and make that feeding frenzy around your business. So that way, by the time you get your printer, you already have a pocket full of people ready to actually work with you and use your stuff. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to go out and buy a printer and say, all right, I'm trying to print for myself and print transfers for others. I did that. I had DTF printers in my shop. I thought the same exact thing. And what ended up happening was, once I let people know that I was printing transfers, and I never put on social media, I just locally would tell people that I do it because I know a ton of people with heat presses. I was just printing transfers all day. I didn't even have time to print for myself. So for me, I was just like, yo, man, I ain't even trying to do all that. I ended up getting rid of my DTF printer because it wasn't for me. Does that mean it's for you? It could be, but it could not be. It's more about knowing what your business is and what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to get rich and you're just trying to, like, so you see somebody online printing transfers, the X tool is not going to print by volume for you. You would need a commercial size DTF printer to print for people. So then if you were trying to print transfers for yourself, if you're not doing volume like that, like, you would have to run that machine every day. You know what I mean? And whether you're printing for yourself and you're making sure that the maintenance is up on that machine, is it really going to be paying off that machine? Whether you're doing one or two sales a day, or whatever it is that going to make the payment for you, where it's going to be a profitable business? Or are you just going to be, basically building yourself out of debt? If that's the case, don't even jump into this shit, man. You can get a white toner printer for a fraction of the cost. I think those things go for like $3,000 or something like that. And you could just bang out one or two shirts a day. There's very low maintenance on that thing. Consumables aren't that expensive on that thing. I mean, they're still pricey, but not as expensive. You'd be able to get going not too bad. But if your idea is to actually print transfers for other people, you would have to look into like commercial size printer. I know that doesn't answer anything about the X tool because I'm not hands on with it, so I don't know too much. But the little bit that I did see was I noticed when the transfers came rolling out the bottom, there's like perforations or little holes on the transfer on the film, which makes me think it's a proprietary film that you have to feed through there. Certain size has those little holes because maybe there's rollers that grip that and help it feed it through. That if you can't get like aftermarket stuff and use the film you want, then it makes it a little harder too. But just remember, DTG, DTF, though white ink clogs those print heads like crazy, and that to me is always the nightmare. When I had DTG printers, that was always the nightmare. And then the printer companies upsell the print heads for those things. Um, Long time ago, when I was doing DTG, the print head that was a popular one was the Epson 1000 or 1001, something like that. It would be like $70 to $90 to get a refurbished Epson printer so you could bust the print head out and put it into your DTG machine. But then once DTG companies got privy to that, they started buying up all the stock and then upselling all those print heads. So now you're paying like $1,500 for a $70 print head, which was crazy to me. And it's gonna happen. White ink always clogs those print heads. It's gonna happen. Let me see. The homie Devoted Brand said the R2 Pro is better than uh, the X tool. There you go. Let me see. Merch Studio is great. Yeah, Merch Studio is great. And they make dope content. Don't put the cart before the horse. That's really, really good information right there. Are there a lot of headaches with having your own printer? Hell yeah, there's tons of headaches. That's why I always say buy the transfers for somebody that already owns the printer. Let them deal with the headaches. You know what I mean? And you just deal with selling the t-shirts. That's for me, that's how I feel. Doesn't mean everybody's like that, but for myself, that's how I feel is, I don't want to be a slave to my machine, but at the same time, I don't want to have to baby my machine all day long. um, I'd rather just outsource the transfers and focus on selling the t-shirts because I personally like selling the t-shirts. Let me see. I'm gonna go back through and read some of these TikTok ones. TikTok questions, I should say. Um, the odd ones prints his own transfers. Hell yeah, there you go. Get that money, man. Love my R2 Pro. I think that's what the homie Devoted was just talking about. Shout out to the homie Estevan from All American too, man. That's a good dude. Good idea to purchase an embroidery machine. I think it's a good idea because there's no other way to replicate embroidery. When it comes to transfers, you could do screen printing, you could do DTG, DTF, you could do screen printed transfers, you could do vinyl. There's so many different ways to decorate a garment for just print wise on a t-shirt. But when it comes to embroidery, the only way to get that effect is to actually embroider something. So for me, embroidery is its own beast. Before you buy your embroidery machine, though, what I would do is I would outsource a lot of the embroidery first, just to see if there's a need for you to own that machine. So whether you're doing embroidery for yourself, like you're stitching your own hats or whatever, outsource it. Find a local embroidery shop to you, send them the work, and see if you could sell that type of work. And if you're getting an embroidery machine to embroider for people, do the same exact thing. Find a local shop, find out their turnaround times and their prices, and then start soliciting that type of work. And you just middleman it. You get the garment, you bring it there, you give it to the customer. You pay the shop, the customer pays you, you're good to go. Do that for like a year and then see if that business is going to be viable for you. Because if you just jump right in, like, I'm going to go buy this machine right now and then I'm going to start embroidering and find the business and blah, 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 you're starting out in the hole. Don't start out in the hole. That's like the worst thing you could do, is because then you're going to start forcing the work. And the way you force the work is you're going to start looking at what other embroidery shops charge. You're going to undercut them. You're going to try to drop your prices low. And then you're going to be working for dumb, cheap labor. And that's the worst way to go, especially if you're trying to build a business. So the smart way to do it is to outsource everything first and middleman that work. That way you see, is there a need for me to own a embroidery machine? Just because you get the embroidery machine doesn't mean sales are just going to go up magically. You still got to put in the work. So if you can't put in the work and middleman these jobs, when you get your embroidery machine, nothing's going to change. You're still not going to know how to, get the work. So start before you get your machine. Your customer doesn't need to know that you're doing the embroidery work. Your customer doesn't have to know anything. There's so many print brokers out there that middleman work, that they just sit in an office and they're the connection, right? They know who to go to, they know how to get the job done. Do that. Do it for 6 months, 8 months. Prove it to yourself that you getting an embroidery machine is going to be worth it. Before I got mine, I outsourced the job all the time. Then I kept a running list on how many jobs I was doing, what it would cost me to do it myself versus go to an actual shop. And then I started to notice all the money I was leaving on the table because I had so much work coming in, work for myself, work from other people because I was middlemaning it. And I was just kind of banging it through, going through the motions. And then I would see, all right, nah, this isn't for me. And then I would see that like I'm just leaving so much money on the table where I'm like, no, it makes more sense for me to get a machine now. And like I said, I got the machine. Machine I think was like 15K. I paid that sucker off in like 5 months because of so much work coming in that I already had the clients built up to pay the machine off. So the clients were like, yo, you doing like, I need get some hats done or some whatever. They come to the shop, they see me, bang, bang, bang. And then now the machine's paid off 5 months. And if I didn't do that and I got the machine first, and then I try to go out and solicit the work, like, yo, I'm trying, I got an embroidery machine now. Who needs embroidery work? I'd be like selling myself short. I'd rather get the customers first and then start feeding them instead of trying to go out, look for the customers and try to get it going that way. Middleman the work first, outsource it. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not going to get rich doing it, but what you are going to get rich in is all the information that you got coming in on what you actually need to do to get that machine. And then you might find out the machine's not even worth it. You're like, man, I don't got that much embroidery work coming in. I'm not going to do this. And I just saved you $15,000 on dropping it on a machine because you tested the waters first. You know what I mean? It's all about just making smart business decisions. That's what it comes down to. It's not, I'm trying to like, I'm an affiliate with Racoma. I could be like, yeah, go get a machine right now, but I'm not going to do that to you because I'm not trying to put you in debt. I want to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into before you go and start working and trying to get a machine. You know what I mean? I'm not going to dog you out. I'm not going to give you some fake information. And I'm also not going to just try to put you in debt and start you out in the hole, because that's the worst way to start a business, is in the hole. You know what I mean? Big learning curve with embroidery. Also, your work won't be good until you seriously get it figured. To me, I think embroidery is the biggest learning curve to date, man. Like, of all the things that I've learned in this business, embroidery has been one of the most rewarding but also stressful ones. You know what I mean? Like trying to get the tension right. I didn't understand tension. I didn't understand bobbins, why even a bobbin is needed. I didn't even know a bobbin was a thing before getting into embroidery. Um, I thought it was just kind of like the machine setup, you thread it through the needle, let that sucker run. But once you understand tension and once you understand how things work and what good digitizing is versus bad digitizing, it's way different from there. You know what I mean? Finance also is bad for new business because then you have to make a payment if you don't have the work. That's exactly it. And nobody just has $15,000 laying around to get a machine. So before you actually get in to getting a machine, all you have to do is build up the clientele first, and then you're good to go. Uh, Let me see. Glad I didn't go with getting my own DTF printer. There are several good vendors for ordering online. If I need something fast, I have a local guy who can print me transfers the same or next day. Hell yeah, that's all it is. And I always promote going local when you're buying transfers, doing embroidery. Go local so you can build the rapport with that shop. And then also you have backups to the backups. You know what I mean? You could always get shit online, but if you could get stuff in person, even better. Um, The best maintenance on a DTF is to be able to print almost daily. As long as you wet cap your white ink head, will stay printing clean. I promise you. There you go. So somebody that's speaking from actually owning a DTF printer, that's how the shit works right there. If you want the shit to work flawlessly, run that shit daily and wet cap your ink heads. You'll be good to go. Who do you recommend for outsourcing for embroidering hats? Go local. Jump on Yelp right now. Get off the live. Go to Yelp and type in embroidery services, or just type in embroidery. Every shop close to you is going to pop up, and then you go from there. What are vendors talking about when they say 8-ounce hoodie? That means the hoodie weighs 8 ounces. What printer you use to print and cut your own stickers? Mamaki's dope. Roland's dope. Um, those are two, like, off the top of my head that I could think, or that I have access to that I use, is Mamaki's and Roland's. I believe G6 Customs uses Mamaki printers. I believe Boulevard Stickers, who's also a dope sticker printer, uses a Roland, I believe. Let me see. I'm gonna stay in my lane with tees and farm out the embroidery stuff. Hell yeah, that's exactly the best way of doing it, man. And then once you start outsourcing the shit, you'll start to notice, like, all right, I'm paying for their labor, I'm paying for this, but I'm getting it done. But if you have enough of that work coming in daily, if not weekly, then you're gonna be like, oh shit, I'm leaving so much money on the table. And then that's like, all right, maybe I should get into it. But not everybody needs to, but it's dope to be able to do it. You know what I mean? Any good puff transfer recommendations? Atlanta Vinyl. Atlanta Vinyl got a dope screen printed puff transfer. Learning curve, but when you learn embroidery, you good. That's exactly it. For laser engraving, but farm it out now because my time is money. Time is money is the big key thing to what you just said, man. Because you could sit there and hang out on top of your laser engraver, or you could be working on other things as you outsource it. You know what I mean? BN20A, is the BN20A the blue one or the white one? I don't remember if it's the white one or the blue one. The white one's like the big one where, like, everything is in one. The blue one is the I think it just feeds it out. There's like the white one, I think it's, I don't remember the name of that one, but it's like a double decker joint, and like you load it in the back and then it cuts out through the top. I seen it at the Impressions Expo past January. Been following you for a while. Watch all your YouTube videos, good info. Drake Duo Prince, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for watching and rocking with me all these years, man. Would love to chop it up about teas. That's what I do these lives for, man. So we could chop it up about teas. That's what if you go to the Impressions Expo or any trade show, but mainly the Impressions Expo that comes out to Long Beach, um, that's all I do, man. I just roll around, chop it up with people, drink a couple beers. I'm not there. There's no obligations for me. I'm not getting paid to be at that trade show. I'm going out to do research like everybody else. And if you see me in the crowd, man, let's chop it up. Let's drink a beer. Let's hang out. That's what I go for. I love your videos on YouTube. I listened to learn when I first started. Ramon Basie. Hell yeah. Appreciate you for watching, man. The YouTube videos are dope. The YouTube videos don't get as much traction as the short form content does now. I'm noticing that because it's like before YouTube was the only video source to get information from, but now TikTok got, like, kids are teaching people on TikTok how to do something in 1 minute. You know what I mean? I can't keep up with it, but the information that I put out is just what I do for my own business. That's it. What you guys see me do is basically me running my own business, and I'm showing you guys the shirts I'm using, transfers I'm using, techniques I'm doing. Somebody was arguing with me about left chest prints in the comments. I think it was either on Facebook or on TikTok, and it was that technique doesn't work. Like the print's gonna be too centered up in the on the t-shirt. And for example, I didn't print this shirt, right? This is from Born and Raised. I bought this t-shirt. This is a screen printed t-shirt from Born and Raised. This is their rocker tee. My technique is 4 fingers down from the collar, and then the peak in the collar where the shoulder meets the collar, going straight down, is where I lay my left print, left chest print. 4 fingers down from the collar is basically that, right? From here down straight, 4 fingers down from the collar. and it lands straight. If screen printers are doing it, I'm doing the same technique, but with transfers. It works, man. This shit works. That's the technique. If you're trying to get left chest prints, over the heart prints, that's what it is. 4 fingers from the collar, right? Here's the bottom of the collar, 4 fingers down. Sorry for the microphone. Slide that over where the collar meets the shoulder, that little seam. I call it the peak because, like, when you're holding up a t-shirt, it's a U shape, right? Here's one peak, here's the other peak. From the peak in the collar going straight down, that's exactly where this screen printed transfer lands. And it's right on the heart, right on the left titty. That to me works every time. I've been doing it like this for the past 20 something years. Never fails. But there's so many know-it-alls on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. When they see that and they're like, nah, you got to use the ruler, you got to do this, blah, blah, blah. If you want to get it straight, this is what you got to do. If you want to use rulers and gadgets and alignment tools and all that, cool. For myself, I'm a creature of habit, man. Like, this shit's been working for me for the last 20 something years. I'm going to keep doing it because the print's always going to land where I want it to land. But I have to remember that there's people on here that's never seen me before, never heard me before, don't know my background in the print industry, don't know what I do, that are going to challenge what I do. And that's fine. Like, this is not the only way to do it. We all don't have the same size hand to use as a guide. But for myself, this is what I've always done, is line it up with the collar, or line it up with the peak in the collar where the shoulder and the collar meet, 4 fingers down. It'll land over the heart every single time. It doesn't matter what size t-shirt you're doing it on. That technique will always work. But like I said, there's a million different ways of doing this thing. This is just what works for myself. Let me see. We're bringing you to the All American booth at Impressions. I'll stop by that booth, especially chop it up with Estevan. And then, yeah, like I said, man, I just be floating around. I think I did a podcast with the homie Screen Printer Mike, and their little podcast booth was kind of close to the All American booth. You know what I mean? Let me see. Your technique is correct. Yeah, man, shit works. Bets, what's happening, man? Is that BNR and AS Color T? Looks like it. Also feels like it, man. I can't say like this is the blank that they use because I don't work for them, but fits and feels like it. Fits and feels like an AS Color classic tee. We use the finger method as well because of you. Hell yeah, man. And like I said, all of our hands are different sizes, right? This is roughly 3.5 inches, probably. And that's all it is, man. It's just, it'll get there in the general location. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's not rocket science and there's no like blueprint to how to do it. But when you're working, I just try to go with what's the easiest way to do things without having to grab for other tools. And I have built-in rulers right here, and I'm just like, all right, that looks good to me. Bingo. You know what I mean? I'm in North Carolina. Don't get out to Long Beach too often. Hey, man, I hear you, man. I hear you. Let me see. We screen print, but use transfers for multiple 8 colors or more. Hell yeah. That's a good move. Imagine having to like burn 9 screens for one t-shirt design. Crazy. We use the finger method as well because of you. It works, man. It works. My business is a success. You have schooled me from day one. Will Be Fit Creations. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching, but I really appreciate you using the information for your own business, getting to that money. Appreciate it. Thanks for the tip. I never thought to do it like that. Yeah, not a problem. That's always, if you watch the videos of me pressing shirts and I say 4 fingers down, peak in the collar, blah, blah, blah. That's all it is. Majority of my t-shirts that I sell are left chest prints, small left chest prints on the front, and then big prints on the back. That's like, I would say 90% of the t-shirts I sell are front back prints just like this. But that's what it is. Any tips to make the chest print straight? Yeah, this is all you do. Say if this is the transfer right here, you just fold it and then you crease the top and bottom. It'll give you a center line. And then that way you line up the center line with the center of whatever you're doing. That's the easiest way to do it. Is you don't have to crease it, but just pinch the top and bottom, and then it'll give you like an exact center of the design on your transfer. Hopefully that makes sense. How's the golf game? Golf game's cool, man. I was at Top Golf yesterday. Um, got a couple balls in. My ribs are getting a little bit better. I had injured myself. I don't know if I told you guys. I think I said it on the last live, but I had injured my ribs. I ended up getting rib fascia, something like that, from swinging all stupid, incorrectly, hurting myself. That's what ended up happening. I had to take like 3 weeks off, rest up, healed up, back to good. Now I'm slowly getting back into it. So I went out to the range week ago or so, and then just hit a few balls, got the wedge out, short game stuff. And then yesterday I was at Top Golf, and I was really sending them at Top Golf, and my ribs feel cool. So I'm back in action now. You know what I mean? Wolf Customs, I appreciate that, man. Let me see. Dale Taco, what's happening? Where can I find the best quality blanks for toddlers and kids? Not sure about toddlers, but kids, AS Color got dope ass blanks. Um, let me see. Screen Printer Mike works near me here in North Carolina. Love that dude. Love that dude's videos. His voice is dope. Screen Printer Mike is the best, man. He makes the whoever wants to learn how to half tone your DTF prints. Like if you really wanted like a step by step guide on how to half tone stuff, his name's That T-Shirt Dude on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. He makes dope ass tutorials. I think he even makes plugins for shit or something like that. He has distress plugins, all that good stuff. But Screen Printer Mike or That T-Shirt Dude is one hell of a teacher, man. So if you get a chance to check out his content, like I said, he got that smooth voice too. You know what I mean? Pheno's Finest, what's happening? Mike from Tech Source, I'm lucky to have him use my plugin. Yeah, there you go. So Lightning Plugins is the plugin that Screen Printer Mike uses. Um, that dude's dope, man. I to me, um, one of the cool dudes within the industry that I've met a lot of cool people, but ever since I connected with Screen Printer Mike, dude's been nothing but chill, super cool guy, and his content is really dope. And he really nails the short form content on how to teach somebody how to do something under a minute. Dude's a genius at it. Let me see. Found your videos in 2021. It helped me when I started. Now I'm 5 embroidery machines. Hell yeah, and 2 presses. Wolf Customs, get that money, man. Congrats on the growth. I celebrate it. One, I celebrate ownership, but I always celebrate growth, man. I think that's dope. Get that money within what, 4 years? Killing shit, man. Keep going, man. That's good momentum. You know what I mean? Keep that shit rolling. Got to go out golfing Sunday, probably last time before spring. Ohio is cold. Yeah, man. That's the crazy thing is, fortunate enough to live in Los Angeles where the weather is kind of the same throughout the year. It's getting a little chilly for myself. Like a little cold for me is like in the 60s. So I usually hit the range early in the morning, 5:36 in the morning, and it's usually in the 60s, 58, 57. I'm still in shorts and a hoodie, so it's not too bad. If I was anywhere where like snowed, where you guys get real seasons, I probably wouldn't be golfing at all, man. I sent you a DM on Facebook and I wanted to go over something with you. Can I DM you somewhere you can talk coastal caster fishing? The best place to ask me questions is right here. That's why I'm doing it live. Um, Facebook, I really don't check DMs. I get thousands on top of thousands of DMs a day. Majority of them are spam. Majority of them are like manufacturers from overseas trying to sell me something. So I don't check them. For myself, it's always easier to ask every question right here in the live comments in the chat or whatever. It's easier for me to answer whatever you need me to answer right then and there. Me and art department always watch your videos. Shout out to art department, man. Dude's dope. Crazy story, but really dope dude, man. Let's see. Move my thank you. I moved my shop 3 times already. You, A-Dub, and Stan Banks. Hell yeah. Shout out to A-Dub. Shout out to Stan Banks. Shout out to all the other content creators in the t-shirt space, man. Everybody's grinding, everybody's doing their thing. And I think it only grows the community. You know what I mean? I encourage everybody watching this, I encourage you to jump into this space and create content around what you're doing. Don't think about it like, oh, these guys been doing YouTube for so long. There's no space for me, blah blah blah, or I don't know anything. You don't have to know anything. It's all about sharing your journey on what you're doing because there's people that can relate to you and your content. So I encourage everybody to do it because it only grows our community more. Like imagine if it just stopped at me, Stan, A-Dub, Rye Beats, T-shirt Buddy, like Mike T's. If it only stopped at like us six guys, Heart and Hustle's another one, so seven guys, that community's weak. And I'm not saying anybody's weak, but I'm saying that we need more people in the space to share what we're doing. And it grows the heat press community like crazy, man. And you can see everybody's growth. That's what I really, really champion for is everybody's growth. You know what I mean? Leadership Matters says we only have 2 seasons in LA. Shorts and shorts with a hoodie. That's exactly it, man. For me, when it starts to get a little cold, that's when you start to see me in Pendleton. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, but if you watch my short form videos on TikTok and Instagram, you'll start to see like videos of me in hoodies, videos of me in Pendletons, and then you know it's kind of cold. It might be like 62 outside, and that's why I'm dressed like that. But outside of that, it's usually t-shirts and shorts, man. That's usually how it works. Fat Heck, who's also from out this way, out in the Harbor area, South Bay area, he said, "I shit you not, in the last 20 years, I've worn pants like 10 times total." That's exactly it, man. To me, that's like it's cool, man. I love LA weather. You know what I mean? I'm made for it. But like I said, anything in the low 60s is a little cold. You know what I mean? Let me see. Do you use WACAP? No, I don't. 2 videos, real gems from transfer knowledge to blanks, print locations, everything. I appreciate that, Wolf Customs. Thank you, man. Yeah, I don't use WACAP as a distributor. Heart and Hustle is legit. Hell yeah, man. To me, that's like the epitome of like doing everything. He does screen printing, embroidery, transfers, laser engraving. He runs a retail store where he's selling blanks. He does banners, signs, signage, installations for signage. He does it all. When you think of like a full print shop, Heart and Hustle is the full print shop, and it's family owned. Like he has his kids working up in there. Everybody's working. Heart and Hustle's dope, man. Really dope. Let me see. We talk a lot there. Here for the people. Hell yeah. Yeah, I love, man, Heart and Hustle is fucking really dope. Especially like when I was looking into getting into embroidery, Heart and Hustle is somebody I was looking at. A-Dub, obviously, because A-Dub was already creating like he's been in the embroidery space, like the sewing embroidery space. A-Dub killed that market. And so when I was looking into it, those are the guys I was watching. Was like I was watching A-Dub stuff, I was watching Heart and Hustle stuff. Um, I was also watching Rye Beats because Rye Beats had just got a Tajima, and I was like, "Yo, he just got a embroidery machine." So I was watching how everybody was using their stuff before I got mine, because you know how it is when you're about to buy something or you're trying to do research before you like do a big investment. You're like trying to watch every single video under the sun about anything. So that's what I was doing, man. Let me see. A-Dub is the reason I got a Racoma. Hell yeah. Like I said, man, A-Dub's dope, man. We got Anatole because of Hard and Hustle. Hell yeah. Anatole's the screen print stuff, right? That's right. You influenced my first HPN. That's it, man. Hell yeah. To me, that's how like when you consume content or when you're watching content, it's always watching the people that are doing what you kind of want to do. I don't run my business like Heart and Hustle or A-Dub. They run their businesses separately than how I do it. Stan runs his business separately than the way I do it. TikTok's making me do a little puzzle right now. It's weird. You got to do a puzzle with TikTok just to make sure that you're still live or something. I don't know, but you got to slide puzzle pieces around. Um, and when I watch people like Rye Beats, I would watch him because he just makes cool content. Like I like the way it's edited. I like the way he puts stuff out like episodes. Um, I would just always consume the content of other people of what they were doing, not necessarily for information, but for entertainment, really, like just to see what everybody was up to. Cause I would see these guys at trade shows. That's like the main time I would run into these guys. So it's dope to see the progress, right? You see everybody's growth, you see how everybody's doing shit. Like, oh man, that's dope as hell. Like to know everybody's businesses are thriving and we were all just regular content creators, t-shirt content creators, and everybody's kind of just sharing what they do and helping the next person up. I think it's pretty dope, man. Great dude, always uplifting everyone. Love your energy. Hey man, that's what it's all about. Like I don't view anybody as competition, and I don't view anybody as um like a stepping stone. Like I'm not trying to use anybody for any financial gains or anything like that. I want people to learn what I do and then do better than me and then flourish. You know what I mean? Like it's not about, oh, I'm not going to share this information because then you become my competition. There's billions of people in this world that wear t-shirts. Like we all can design something and create something for our own targeted audiences and make really good money doing it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'd rather share with everybody, see everybody win, and then from there, everybody's helping everybody. You know what I mean? That's the way I think it should work. A-Dub is chill like you, brother. Hell yeah, you're not lying, man. A-Dub is a cool cat, man. Rich from Hustle Ninjas, hell yeah. Hey, Rich, that dude is on a whole nother level. Like the stuff he does, the stuff that he shows, the stuff that he teaches. I can't even wrap my own brain around that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? When he does the excuse me, Etsy stuff and like how to promote, run ads, and do all that stuff, he's dope because the proof is in the pudding. He already done it. He knows how it works, and he's just teaching people how to do it. You know what I mean? Like that to me is a whole nother ball game in this t-shirt space. That's outside of creating t-shirts. That's outside of anything. That's like this is how you get to the money. And when you teach people how to get the money, to me, I think that's when you're really, really passing down game. Every content creator is going to show you transfers and machines and equipment and how to use them, how to push the buttons and all that stuff. But it's the content creators that are showing people how to use all of those resources to make the money. Those are the ones that you should be watching because that to me is the most important part of this whole business is being profitable. I could teach you all day long on how to lay a t-shirt on a heat press and what transfers to use and what blank t-shirts to use. And that's fine. But then how do you get the customers, right? And that's why I'm very, very heavily focused on teaching people what I do on social media to get the customers. You know what I mean? This is the stuff that's working for me on how you guys see me packing up t-shirts every single day. And daily I'm there packing up orders with my dumbass phone and I'm just going through the motions, right? But the way I'm getting these orders is basically that. It's just I show the strategy I use to promote the t-shirts I want to sell. It's no secret. You guys will see me doing a bunch of those LA shirts with the Chucks, right? And when I'm heavily promoting that shirt, it's because I'm targeting the people to buy that shirt. And then sometimes you might see me selling a ton of West Side shirts. It's because I'm targeting the people to buy the West Side shirt. All of that is on YouTube. That's what I'm showing people how to do. And that's the part that I really enjoy doing is because this is how you get the sale. Everybody could own heat presses, blank t-shirts and transfers and printers, embroidery machines. But if you don't know how to get your products into the faces of your customers, you're going to have all this dope equipment, these dope blank t-shirts that'll never see the light of day because you're having a hard time getting the customers. Everybody forgets about what work needs to go into actually acquiring new clients and customers and stuff like that. That's where channels like mine and Rich from Hustle Ninjas, these are like the channels of people showing you how to get to the money. All the other channels out there are just showing you how to push the buttons. This is how you use your heat press. This is how you do this. This is how you do. Show people how you're getting the customers. If you're getting customers, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's no secret. My short form videos that I do are 80% of me shipping out orders, and that's it. This is how I'm getting the customers. This is how I'm getting people to come to my retail store. This is how I'm doing all this stuff. The proof is there. You know what I mean? And I don't say that to say I know everything about this t-shirt business, but the tactics that I'm using, I share it with everybody, man. I'm like, yo, this is how the shit works. You know what I mean? Tone, what's happening, bro? Island Armor Culture checking in. If you guys want to watch somebody really grind the shit out in the festival circuit, check out Island Armor Culture on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. I'll tell you like this, if you want to see somebody really, really show you how to set up the booth and travel with it, and you know what I mean? Like he's using these big old, like whenever you see like musicians with them big ass rolling cases, he's using that as storage for his jerseys when he's selling them. That idea blew me away when I seen him do the shit. We vended at a festival together, and I was just like, yo, man, this is crazy to see. And it's just simple, in and out. Load them up, lock them up, slide them in and out the back of the trailer, and he's traveling all over the place. I'm talking all over the place to these festivals to kill shit. So check out the homie Tone. Check out Island Armor Culture. If you really want to see somebody running the festival circuit, he's a perfect person to watch. The other homie from Ninth Island, another person to watch, like really doing festivals and really getting into like these big ass concert festivals, killing shit. And I'm talking about where I see everybody in your jerseys, Tone, everybody. So it's dope to see, man. From here to Hawaii and everywhere in between, man, it's crazy. Gentle Tees from the Philippines checking in. Hell yeah, what's happening? Let's see. Man. Let me see. I'm a rookie. What is with Plastisol? Seems interesting for the touch, but is it any struggle? Plastisol transfers is basically Plastisol is a screen printing ink. So DTF is like 100% digital print. I think they use water-based inks. Plastisol is a Plastisol ink that screen printers use to print directly on t-shirts. This is a screen printed t-shirt from Born and Raised. This is with Plastisol inks. So Plastisol transfers is just Plastisol ink on a transfer pressed on. It comes with like different instructions to apply it. A lot of Plastisol transfers are high temp, 350, 370. That they feel cool. It gives you the screen print feel, not the actual textured feel, but the ink feel. So a lot of screen print has like a texture on it from the off contact from screens. So like when, say if this is the t-shirt, this is the screen, when you're pushing the ink with the squeegee through the screen bends and it touches the t-shirt and then it pops up. So the ink goes in, and then when it pops up, the screen lifts a little bit of the ink up. So it makes the ink a little textured. You're not going to get that same textured feeling from a heat press because you're smashing the ink into the t-shirt. So there's no off contact or anything. So you're not going to get that same textured feel, but the ink feels the same because it's Plastisol ink. You know what I mean? Let me see. The phone's going crazy. There's graphics and shit flying around. Appreciate everybody for doing that, man. Hell yeah. Wolf Custom said he just followed Island Armor. Telling you, man, follow Island Armor if you just want to see somebody grind the shit out on the festival circuit on everything. Tumblers, jerseys, hoodies, t-shirts, killing the shit, man. I think it's dope. But for me, I started when I was like getting into heat pressing. I did heat transfer vinyls, and then I found Plastisol transfers probably like 15, 18 years ago, something like that. And then that's what I was using with screen printed transfers. It was just because those transfers were gang sheets were a thing. So I was ganging up a bunch of stuff. I didn't have to burn screens no more. So it was like cool that I could just get transfers made using the same inks. And then now there's so many companies like Transfer Express, Howard, 613, FM. There's a ton of companies now that do Plastisol transfers. So I'd advise you to just get like samples from all these companies and test them out, see which one you like better. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you might see something like, yo, that looks dope. But then when you actually use it, like to press something down, if you can't lay it down, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Go to the next company. There's so many companies out there that you can actually, test out every single transfer ink formula that they offer and then really press them down and see if it works for you. You know what I mean? That's what the samples are there for. We might start printing them with the auto. There it is, man. There it is. Clients say simple images sell more than extra details. What's your thoughts? Simple always works, man. I buy simple. That's why I buy stuff like this. I rarely do anything loud, over the top. I stick to the classics, you know what I mean? But it also might be because I'm boring. You know what I mean? I'm not a trendsetter or a tastemaker. I'm not in the fashion world or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I'm black t-shirts and Levi's. That's where it is for me. Um, but that's what I buy. So I like to create stuff that I like to buy. You know what I mean? So majority of my t-shirts aren't loud. They're not crazy. 1 to 2 colors. Rarely do I do anything like really crazy. A lot of the stuff I do is really text heavy, and it's text heavy because that's what I like to wear. I try to stick with the classics that what people are kind of used to instead of like stepping out and, you know, trying to get my fashion designer on because that's not me. So I try to just stay in the lane that I know and don't try to stray too far away from that. But that's why customers shop with me, is because I make stuff that I like to wear, and chances are they like to wear that same exact thing. So, simple designs for me always sell. Anything outside of that, it's a gamble. Might work, it might not work. You know what I mean? Let me see. Are you still using AS Color? Yeah. AS Color, All Style is no more. I haven't used All Style in I don't know how long, but AS Color for me is where it's at. Classic shirt, I love to wear. The block shirt is the one that I like to sell because that one fits the most like the AS Color. I mean the All Style 1701. Uh, you did a few trends when you're doing your pop ups. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But outside, like I'm not, you know what I mean? I wouldn't consider myself a trendsetter or a tastemaker in the fashion world of like what's cool, what's not cool. I'm far from that, man. I might be a little too old for that too. I don't think a lot of young kids is like wearing the same stuff that I am, especially my son. I got an 11-year-old that's into all the fly, flashy shit. I'm not into that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I can't really get down with a lot of that. But to me, it's like it's something for everybody. And the stuff that I make speaks to the people of my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, but we're all kind of in that same realm of comfort for one, and then two, you just want some shit that looks flying cool. You know what I mean? Something you could just put on and get going with. Uh, Wearing designs that you create is a huge staple in making your brand a lot more genuine. Yeah, because nobody wants to rock. Nobody wants to support a brand that the owner don't support. But at the same exact time, um, I understand how it works. There's like if you ever look at somebody like I used to use Steve Jobs as this example, but you could also use like Dr. Dre as the same example. If you ever look at Dr. Dre, what he wears, he don't never wear logos, he don't wear nothing. It's just black t-shirts, black jeans, white sneakers. And then if it's cold out, he probably got a black jacket on, or he probably has a black long sleeve on. But that's just the look. You know what I mean? A lot of people just have the look. Shout out to Never Scared Lifestyle checking in, man. If you guys don't know, Never Scared Lifestyle got their own store in Santa Cruz, Northern California. They go live every day around 5 o'clock, I believe, and they're sharing their journey on how they got started to where they're at now. But the dope part about them is they run their store exactly like me. Retail in the front, production in the back. They got Racoma machines, they got heat presses, they do it all over there. So shout out to Joe, shout out to Nico, the homies over at Never Scared, man. Dope ass people. Um, Sorry, because I just seen them comment on this right here, so that's why I just jumped on. But to me, it's like anything that I do is mainly black t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like I sell tons of black t-shirts. Majority of my store is black t-shirts with white print or colored print. And that's because it just sells people my age or people that are like me. Love a black t-shirt with white print, man. It should just goes. You can wear black Chucks, you can wear black Vans, you can wear Jordans. Like black and white just goes. And it's kind of a staple. So it's hard for me to stray away from that and just start like offering like orange t-shirts. And I'm like, the people like I'm not wearing orange t-shirts. The young kids might be wearing that kind of stuff, but for myself, I'm not speaking to the young kids. I'm speaking to the guys like myself. So I try to just make stuff that I wear that I'm into. Like, you see the color hoodies that I wear. If I do a brown, it's because I like brown. Or if I do a certain gray, it's because I like that gray. And I'm hoping people like the same exact thing. But when it comes to t-shirts, man, clean, simple is always the way to go for myself. Does that mean everybody got to do it? No, because there's clothing brands out there that are killing shit with all over prints and just like loud, crazy stuff. And perfect example is the homie Easy from Easy LA. He makes dope ass clothes. None of those clothes would fit me cool. Like I wouldn't make his brand look cool, but the young kids that rock his stuff, shit looks cool. Same thing with the homie Favai from Island Avenue. Island Avenue makes dope ass clothes. They're selling the shit in Nordstrom's, but it's not like not that it don't fit me. It's just I'm not that fashion forward to be wearing that kind of stuff where I'm not gonna look cool. You know what I mean? Like that part is hard for me to get down with because I'm clean and simple, man. I'm just like black t-shirt. If anything, I'm wearing blank t-shirts all the time. Um, and that's just because that's just what I like to wear. You know what I mean? So when it comes to like louder prints or bigger images versus smaller prints or simple text prints, stuff like that, to me, I think simple always wins. You know what I mean? It's hard to beat the classics. That's in my head how it works. Um, Ventura County checking in. Oxnard, Ox City, what's happening, man? Let me see. Do you know how a full color plasol transfer is made? It trips me out how they can print that many colors with plastisol. They either do four color processing, which is CMYK. They either do that, or if it's a spot color job, they're burning a screen per print. I mean, per color. Those are the two ways that I know that they would do it. Is either going cyan, magenta, and yellow, black with a white underbase, or they're doing just spot color, meaning if there's 8 colors in the design, they're burning 8 screens. That's how I think that they would do those prints. I can't speak for every print shop, but that's how I think it's going down. Black on white, white on black all day. That's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. And most of the time I'm wearing black t-shirts because I'm messy, man. If I wear a white t-shirt, I'm probably dropping food all over my shirt, man. If I might pick that day to go out and eat tacos and I'm dropping salsa and there's everything falling on the shirt. Black shirt, something falls on, I brush it off. You really can't tell. You know what I mean? So being fat and messy, black t-shirts win all day long, man. American Apparel 1301. There you go, man. How do you deal with grainy dots and slight banding when printing solid colors with DTF? You got to clean the heads. Oh, Devoted Brand said head cleans. There you go. Banding is something like when I used to work in a reprographic shop, like printing presses and stuff like that. Banding was a motherfucker, man. But yeah, head cleans is where it's at for you. I tried doing a head cleaning, but the issue is still there. Swap the head out, man. Get a new print head. Let me see. Um, Coming in from Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. Verified by loyalty. Hell yeah. Baltimore checking in. What's happening, man? Shout out to the DMV. Black tee and some Max 90s. You can't go wrong with Air Max and a black t-shirt, man. Never, never go wrong. That's just old school. And maybe that's just the way we grew up or the areas that we live in where that was just considered clean. That's all day long clean. Like to me, I just explained this to my 11-year-old man. Like he just got his first pair of 501s. And I was telling him, I said, man, crisp pair of 501s, plain t-shirt, crispy plain t-shirt at that, and some clean sneakers, man, will do you just right. You'll look cooler than the person with the full Gucci outfit on. Like for myself, that was the outfit growing up. Was you had a fresh pair of 501s on. It didn't even matter. Like fresh pair of 501s and some clean sneakers, if not brand new sneakers and a crispy white tee or a black tee, You was in the game, and you could go to the swap meet and pick up that whole outfit, and you'll be ready for Saturday and Sunday because you buy a white tee for Saturday and a black tee for Sunday, brand new black chucks, and you just wear some 501s, crispy clean, 100%. I was explaining this to my son, and now he's into it. You know what I mean? He was rocking chucks the other day. He was like, "Yo, I want to get some chucks now," and 501s chucks, and he's out here doing it. My son, to me, that's like full circle moment of him understanding that, man, you don't need to wear the Ksubi jeans and the purple jeans. He has purple jeans and all that, but you don't need all that. If you just bust down some 501s and it's fucking ready to go. You know what I mean? So when I say like I stay in black t-shirts and white t-shirts and Air Max, my shoes are always gonna be clean and I gotta make sure I got a crispy shirt on. I'm good to go, man. Kid's got gold around his neck, man. That's cool. Shout out to the homie Flavor Fave. Hell yeah. I don't know if you guys get that reference, man. Anybody seen the movie Kids? That movie right there, that might be dating myself too, man. There might be young people watching this that don't even understand. I don't even think you could stream Kids anywhere because that movie's crazy. Let me see. Got to head out. Have a great night. Thank you for doing these. Devoted Brand, appreciate you for sticking around this long, man. You out in Florida, so I know the time difference is crazy, but shout out to you, bro. And hopefully that hat makes it to you in time, brother. Appreciate you. That fresh white Stafford from JC. Man, I just put him on Stafford wife beaters, man. Like, dude, man, my son he's getting laced up, man. Let me see. Mrs. Trisha B or Trish B said, I was just talking about Kids today, still disturbed. Yeah. Kids is a crazy movie, man. It's a crazy reference. Very crazy movie. Let me see. How do you take out sewn in tags? You got to get a seam ripper. There's two ways to do it. You could get some scissors and cut right underneath the hem with some scissors. You got to get like material scissors, the sharp ones. And then you lift up the hem, like peel it back, and then you could cut there. Or you could get a seam ripper, which it looks like a little hook. It's probably like this tall, has a little hook. There's usually like a little point on the end. I mean, they usually put a little dot, like a little red rubber thing on top, so you don't poke yourself. And it's a little hook, and it just cuts the seams. Those are the two ways you could do it. The scissor method is cool, but like I said, seam ripper will do you right. You can buy both of those on Amazon or go to your local Michaels. What can you recommend for the spray paint look? Majority of the spray paint look could be done in Photoshop with like different brushes. Like I think Procreate, they sell different brushes to recreate spray paint like that flare look. If you're talking about like actual spray paint flare look, if you're just looking for like splatter, you could recreate that on Photoshop. They sell plugins for that kind of stuff. But if you're really trying to recreate spray paint like lettering and stuff like that, Procreate, the Apple Pencil, and then look for the brush that is like a spray paint brush. They have those. You'll be good to go with that. About to head out to Wolf Customs. Appreciate you for jumping on, man. We're gonna do like 10 more minutes, and then I'll be out of here too. But I appreciate you guys for jumping on, rocking with me for the live. I tried the seam ripper yesterday and still put a hole in the shirt. I will try it again. You got to get right up in there with the seam ripper. But if that's putting a hole in your shirt and you're not doing, like, you're having a hard time, like I say, get some scissors. You just fold the hem back. I don't have any shirts with a tag on it, but you fold the hem up, and then you just cut as close as you can to the top, and then you fold the hem back down, and then it'll cover just that cut part. Let me see. Hello, good evening, Betsy. What's happening? What kind of transfers do you recommend as a beginner? DTF transfer is probably the easiest way to go. Find a local DTF printer, or if not local DTF printer, check out. You can look at people like Merch Studio here on TikTok, Crispy Prints on TikTok, the T-shirt Buddy I think is on TikTok and Instagram. They all sell DTF prints. Fairly cheap and competitive, but they do really, really good work. So I would look at them. Where to get good fitted black shirts? AS Color has a dope one. I like for that fitted look. I don't like wearing that type of shirt, but for the guys that I have got those for was the AS Color staple t-shirt is a good fitted, lightweight fitting t-shirt. DTF printing really feels like a lot of work. Is it just me? It's getting better than when I first started, but it's still really tricky, very tricky to do. You know what I mean? But it is dope. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. Let me see. I'm using Shaka Wear tees, but yes, I will try again. Yeah. So if you're using Shaka Wear, you're probably using like the Max Heavyweight t-shirts, which are woven. Those are fat ass tags. It sucks that they're such wide tags. Use the scissors on those. When I was using them, that's what I did. That's why I switched to the Active tee, the Shaka Wear Active shirt. It has a rip away label, so you don't even have to worry about scissors. It's a perforated label. You just rip it off and then you press your own in. Um, but yeah, that's they probably don't have the colors that you want. Like if you're using the Max Heavyweight, you might be using like some of like the pigment dyed stuff or like fancy colors or fancy cuts. Um, but yeah, I use the Shockaware Active shirt, and that's has a rip away label. What black shirt would you recommend? AS Color Classic. It's really expensive, or the AS Color Block. Not too expensive. Those two are the dopest fitting true black t-shirts. A lot of your favorite streetwear brands use the AS Color Classic shirt. For the spray paint look, do you recommend transfers or screen printing? Transfers will work. Screen printing will work too. It just all depends on what your budget's like or what you want to, what you want to pay for. But it could be accomplished with transfers. It could be accomplished with screen printing. What's the best way to make custom size neck tags? DTF would be an easy one. Just get gang up a bunch of your little transfers. I mean, designs like neck label designs on a gang roll. Fit them in wherever you can, and just order your designs, and you'll be good to go. Every time you order designs, throw some size labels in, and then you'll start building up your inventory. That's what I do. So I'll make a gang sheet, and if there's any open space, I'll just throw my size labels in there. And if you're not doing DTF and you're just doing screen printed neck labels, use gray. Gray works on white shirts and black shirts and every color in between. Besides, well, it'll work on heather gray also. I've done it. Let me see. Anybody else got any questions, man? Let me know. Okay, I love the feel and look of Essentials Fear of God tees. I figured Shaka Wear Heavyweight would compare, but not quite. If you're looking for that fit and feel, AS Color Heavy is close to it. It's not the same, but it's close to it. Same fit and same texture feel. The cut might be a little bit different though. But AS Color Heavy, and then if you want like that faded look, like the weathered or vintage look, they have the AS Color Fade shirt. I have if you go to my YouTube page and you type in like Big Brando AS Color, I do a review on like all their shirts. I wear them, try them out for you, everything. That video will show the heavy shirts in there, so you could see what it looks like on. You could see the different colors, like the faded one versus the regular one. Check it out. Gerard, what's happening? Appreciate you. You're inspiring us all the way in New Zealand. Shout out to New Zealand, man. Appreciate it. West Side, hell yeah. Shout out to New Zealand, man. I think it's dope. I watch New Zealand videos all the time, man. Singing videos, haka videos, rugby videos. I'm watching New Zealand podcasts. Like this shit is dope, man. Shout out to New Zealand. You're the reason I got into printing, brother. I appreciate that, man. Get that money for one. And then what's even doper is AS Color comes from New Zealand. The owner of AS Color, I think, is from New Zealand too. That's why I use them, man. Acid wash, look, oversized tees. AS Color got you, man. AS Color has an acid wash oversized shirt. I try on in that same video I was talking about. Go to YouTube, type in Big Brando AS Color. I review all their shirts. I review one of the acid colored ones. It's not the oversized one, but they do have an oversized one on there. Let me see. Look into them and check out your videos on them. Yeah, AS Color is dope, man. I don't know if you live in the Los Angeles area, but if you do, AS Color is located in Carson, which is very close. And you could just like place the order and pick it up if you're using Shockware because of that. Bella Canvas or AS Color all day, man. AS Color all day. I'm not even affiliated with them. I'm not. I'm just. I found them Started using them, and then I started to just spread the word that I was using them because there wasn't a lot of content out there around AS Color. I feel like there's a ton of content around every other t-shirt company. When I first started using Shockaware, nobody was talking about it. When I first started using Pro Club like 9 years ago on YouTube, I've been using Pro Club for like the last 20 years because that's an LA staple t-shirt. Um, Nobody was talking about it. And then same thing, I found AS Color and they started talking about it. Same thing with when I was using the All Style 1701. Nobody was talking about that t-shirt, and that's the t-shirt I like using, so that's why I started talking about it. And it's no, I'm not trying to be like, oh man, I'm the first one that put everybody on. I don't want to put nobody on, but I want to let people know that there's other options out there. You know what I mean? And for me, when I find something I like, I share it with everybody. You know what I mean? The transfers I like, the equipment, blanks, all that stuff. So AS Color has checked the boxes for everything that I do. When it comes to hoodies, I use the AS Color Relax hoodie. They have a ton of color options and they fit dope. They don't make your t-shirt underneath all fuzzy with all the stuff. Um, and then I use the AS Color Classic. That's just a t-shirt I like to wear blank. And then the AS Color Block is a t-shirt that's very comparable to the All Style 1701, just with better cotton. Same fit, same feel, better collar, better cotton, dope ass t-shirt. And very competitive in pricing. Very competitive. Let me see. Big B, thank you for helping us. You're awesome here in New Jersey. Bay Breeze Apparel, get that money, man. That's what I'm talking about. If you have any marketing tips, I'd love to hear them. Also, if you have any advice for running a small brand, I would really appreciate it. This is the best advice I could give you. Go to my playlists. This will break down everything that you just asked. Small brand advice, and then the marketing advice. I have playlists on my channel. One of them is called Back to Basics. It breaks down everything about how I run my business here, like everything I do, how to get started, how to structure your business, how I market my business, how to get sales, everything. I break down equipment. It's all in video form for you. Watch the marketing video. You could see how I do my marketing. If you wanted to like learn even deeper on how to do marketing, I have another playlist called Printing Money. It sounds funny, but printing money is basically how I marketed one single t-shirt to make thousands of dollars. Everything is broken down. What worked, what didn't work, all that good stuff, broken down in video form. Also, there's another playlist on there called Starting from Scratch. That's how to start a clothing brand from no money to how to fund the brand to how to look for cool packaging to look at pricing to making the sale. Everything is on there for you, man. So check out those playlists. That'll answer all the questions for you, man. Mind Diary 6060. Check that stuff out. I won't steer you wrong. How are you finding the quality of AS Color? Quality is top tier. It's the best quality t-shirt I've found. That's why I use them. Um, because it's just, like I said, a solid t-shirt, man. Every t-shirt that they offer is built for a certain customer. They have fitted shirts for the people that want to show off the guns. They got oversized t-shirts to fit the trends. They have dope streetwear t-shirts. They have good all-around t-shirts. They have pants, jackets, women's clothes, kids' clothes, accessories, bags, aprons, hats. What else they got? They got all kind of stuff under their roof. But it's dope. And if you think about it, they have AS Color has stores in New Zealand and I think Australia where they just sell their blanks. The stores in the mall. It's called AS Color. It's like how American Apparel used to be around here. Same concept. You go there, you could get fitted down with all AS Color everything. Um, Shit is dope, man. I love it. Was it easy setting up with them to buy in bulk? Yeah. And they're located right here in Carson, man. Like, so it's from my shop, 5 minute drive, maybe 3 minute drive to go pick up blanks from their warehouse. That's mainly why I use them because they're right down the street. And it makes my life a lot easier when I could place the order in the morning and then pick up in the afternoon. You know what I mean? At the moment, thinking about using them to buy bulk and start my own thing. Hell yeah. That's it, man. So yeah, so I was right. The New Zealand people confirming that they have stores out there. So buying in bulk, man, it's a no brainer. Best simple advice to get the first shirt sell: know your audience. Know exactly who you want to sell to. Create something for that audience. You'll see success right when you drop those shirts because you're making something that's relatable to an end user. Most people will make the stuff and then try to find the end user. It's not how it works, man. Know who you're going to sell to. You make the stuff for that person and then you sell it to that person. You see success every time. A lot of people do it backwards. Don't do it backwards. Thanks for answering my questions. I have to jump off, not a problem. Saint, thanks for jumping on, man. Thank you for your kind answers. This is my first time watching your live, and I'm really enjoying it. Appreciate you. I do these lives on TikTok and YouTube every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's made for anybody to ask questions about this kind of stuff. And I try to help people out as much as possible. But that's what these lives are for. But yeah, take full advantage of those playlists. I'm not just trying to get my views up like that. That's not why I made those playlists. I made it so people can go there and actually understand what they're getting themselves into. And I broke them down that way to provide as much useful and impactful information as possible for you, people like you. Because when I was getting started, I wish I had somebody to shoot me some playlists so I could actually get going. That's how it works. You know what I mean? Do you provide one-on-two mentorships? I do, but I don't have any open slots right now. So what I do is, if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post on my story whenever I have, like, I'll do live calls with everybody. Whoever signs up first, it's a first come first serve thing. You sign up, I post the link so you can sign up and choose a time slot, and then from there we just get it going. But right now I just don't have no time to do them, so that's why I haven't posted any lately. The last ones we did was probably 3 weeks to a month ago, maybe, was the last time I did them. So whenever I have like time to do it on my Instagram story, I throw it up. Once it's on the story and all the time slots are filled in, I take it down. So pay attention to the stories is what I'm trying to tell you. Best DTF website. Try Merch Studio. You could try Super DTF from Supercolor. You could try um, Crispy Prints, the T-shirt Buddy. Um, who else is out there? There's a ton of people that offer transfers. Taught me how to start with. There you go, William Stewart. Get that money, man. How important? Like most important piece of advice I ever got from Brando is do not get locked into feeling that what you like is what people want. That's exactly it, man. You can love it, don't mean the people are going to buy it. And that's the most humbling thing about this business is if you create the designs like myself, I create all my own designs, right? And I might spend hours creating this design and I love this shit, right? And I'm just like, yo, like everybody's gonna love this thing. And then I put it out and then nobody gives a shit about it. And that is the most humbling part of the whole business is something that you really fall in love with and nobody else likes it. Man, the market will never lie to you. And the market is very humbling too, man. It'll check your ego fast. Big fan of your YouTube, Abandoned One Streetwear. I appreciate that, man. Jason, Merch Studio, Pinoy. Yep, I think he is a Filipino dude. I think he is. I don't know him personally. I just see his videos all the time. And when I watch people printing their transfers, I pay attention to how they quality check all the stuff that they're doing. Because like that's why I think Crispy Prints, Mike T's is dope. He shows himself printing all the time. The T-shirt Buddy shows himself in his workspace printing all the time. I love watching their videos because I'm like, they're paying attention to the quality. They're taking care of these orders. They're getting them out in a timely manner. Those are the people I want to spend my money with. You know what I mean? That's why I do it. Ordered some from them, waiting for it. Hell yeah! Shout out to Merch Studio, man. It's hard to get the grays right. I think it's hard to get the browns right. I think the browns is where the hard part is. We will be at one show and one design goes wild and the next it's a different one. That's exactly it, man. The market doesn't lie to you. Try Transfer Express too. Seen it on your links. Yeah, Transfer Express. I used to use Hot Split a lot. I haven't used them lately. Not for nothing. I just haven't had a need to use them lately. But yeah. Fat Hex said happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate everybody for jumping on, man. Appreciate this live because everybody was asking questions on both lives. Shout out to everybody that was on TikTok. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. If you guys didn't know, I do this every single Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So tune in, ask your questions, and we could chop it up. Catch you guys on next one, man. Peace.